Morning. Today is Tuesday, December 8th, and I'm going to walk you through today's assignments. So let's go down here, click on our week as always, and click on Tuesday. Your first task is to finish the Dickens and Victorian London scavenger hunt from yesterday. If you have not started this at all, then you need to go back to Monday and click on task 3 and get started and finish this. If you started it yesterday but didn't finish it, then open it up from your drive. So if you go into your drive and you search Dickens in London digital online scavenger hunt, you'll find it. Yours either says copy of, or you put your initials at the beginning or end and should be able to find it. When you're done, you'll turn it into the Christmas Carol Dickens in Victorian London scavenger hunt. So that's right here in Polaris. Or it's in the Dropbox folder. I won't even go there. If you know how to find, you know how to find, and you're good. All right. Moving on to task 2. All right, so this is just a quick schema building activity just to help you better understand the history of London in order to see Scrooge's perspective in A Christmas Carol. Hopefully you know enough about Christmas Carol to know a little bit about Scrooge, which helps with your schema. But clicking through the rest of this kind of background information will help a little bit more. So to gain more background about the city of London, you will use this thing link. It's an interactive presentation. So you'll need to turn on your speakers and click each button on the page to read and listen to chunks of information about the city. So you're going to begin by clicking on the book icon, then click in the order of the numbered buttons. So we're going to start by clicking here to view and read the thing link. Awesome. All right, so if you've ever used a thing link before, it should be pretty easy. And if you haven't, also pretty easy. So if we start with the video, I click it, and it's going to tell me how to use ThingLink. Then if I click here, it reads it to me, which is nice. Now I can click through my numbers. Every time I click, it's going to open up the link, and it's going to read it to me. So make sure that your volume is up so that you can hear it, and then you'll be good with this thing link. Okay, so let's say I read through it. I'm done. I've done my thing link. Then, to understand some more about the setting, I'm going to click through this slideshow. Oh, goodness. To learn more about the setting of London. So I'll go ahead and show you. It's going to open it in present mode, so it'll be right there for you. With this, you are going to read this paragraph, and then you'll be clicking on the slide, and it will bring up more information for you to read. So make sure that you thoroughly click through each slide so that you get everything that you need. There are maybe like 3 slides like this with information on it, and then you're good to go, and you can move on to the next the next task. Okay, so we'll say that I finished that, and I can move on to task 3, which is to read and snot Act 1, Scene 1. I can't stress enough, don't try to read through the entire play today. You're reading through the entire play the rest of the week. So if you try to jam all that work into one, you're probably going to get frustrated. And if you email me saying that it was a lot of work, I'm probably going to tell you that you weren't supposed to do it all. So make sure that you're only doing Act 1, Scene 1, and then stopping. All right, so you're going to make a copy of the play A Christmas Carol by clicking here on this link. Now, once you do it, you're going to delete copy of and replace it with your initials so that you can find it. Especially if you've accidentally spam clicked copy, then you're going to have a bunch of them, and later you're going to ask me how to find it. And there's nothing I can do except for tell you to click through all of them. So you're better off putting your initials so you know which one's the good one. If you have an organized drive, you can put it in your fiction folder. This is a major text that we're going to be using for the next 2 weeks. So I would also recommend bookmarking it up here. If you have, oh my goodness, a 7th grade ELA folder to save it in, I would put it in there so you can quickly click, find it, and use it all week. All right, so let's go ahead and open up a document and make my copy. All right, got my copy. Title, author, text features, prediction. Gonna go through my normal process that we've been doing all year so far. I know that many of you are so over snots, but believe me, it's really important to do it. It helps to keep your focus while you're reading, and it's going to help you remember details of the story. If you took the time to read it, acknowledge that it was important, and write it in the margin, that's really bringing it home for you so that you can remember it. It's going to really help you to understand the play. A Christmas Carol, it can be difficult in places, so being able to understand as much of it as possible is your best bet to have an easy time with this story. All right, so you can click here for read aloud for Act 1, Scene 1. It is a couple of your different teachers in the building, so it might be fun to listen to. It might make it a little bit easier for you to snot if you are listening to it. If you do choose to do the read aloud, I would recommend doing split screen, picture in picture, so that you can listen and follow along. So while you're reading, you'll notice there are some stop and answer close reads. Answer these questions and then keep reading. When you're finished with Act 1, Scene 1, which isn't very long, you are going to take your answers from here and you are going to put them in a Polaris quiz, just so that I can hold you accountable and know that you did read Act 1, Scene 1 and you did do your close read questions. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll show you that in just a second. All right, so Act 1, Scene 1, not very long. Make sure you do the close reads. Once you've finished Act 1, Scene 1, you will stop. Okay? As you're reading through this for the rest of the week, you'll notice that you can jump to different scenes by clicking the bookmark, and it'll take you there. Just because this is a 23-page document and scrolling to try and get there might take a little bit extra time for no reason. All right? Okay, so let's go ahead back to our agenda and make sure I covered everything. All right, so Act 1, Scene 1 is in this document, or Act 1 is, okay, so it's broken down. Make sure you're only reading Act 1, Scene 1. Each scene has a read aloud. Told you about that. If you needed to view the fiction snots, you have them in your drive, or you can click here for them. Okay, so now let's go ahead and move on to what I was talking about with the close read questions. So you're going to follow this pathway to get to the close read questions. You'll go to the fiction folder, Christmas Carol, close read questions, Act 1, Scene 1, close read questions. So I'm going to scroll it on down here to fiction. And then I'm going to go to Christmas Carol. It's the only red folder in the bunch. And I'm going to go to close read questions. All right, so Act 1, Scene 1, close read questions. Click this. It is the exact same questions that were on my story right here. So the first one, you had to highlight descriptive words in paragraph 4. Well, the first question asks you to list the descriptive words from paragraph 4. And you should have highlighted these. Then you'll go back. Oops, I don't want this one. Why might the playwright have chosen these words? You already have your answer written in here, so you'll come back. Why might the playwright have chosen these words? Notice that it's the same. Okay, so you'll just copy and paste those answers in here and submit it, and you're good to go. You won't get an immediate score because this is extended response, so I have to go in and make sure that I grade your answers, and then you'll be good to go. On the topic of grading, I do apologize that my grades have fallen behind a little bit, and that is because I was sick with COVID and was not able to do a whole lot, especially with the one-pagers. I did not want to physically touch anyone's assignments while I had COVID, so now that I'm okay, I will be grading those one-pagers, and I'll be getting caught up on grading all week, so everything should be graded and good to go by Friday. Hopefully sooner. I'm going to try and get through them as fast as possible because I know you guys are anxious to see some of your grades, okay? Other than that, that is it for today. Again, another pretty simple day. It's not going to be too aggressive. The most extensive thing is snotting while you do your act one, scene one, but that's it. If you need help with anything today, send me an email. If you wanted to come to the Google Meet, today is a question and answer Google Meet. So only if you have questions, you have to come in. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And just if you've watched this video, then you are good to go. All right. Have a great day.